Hey, what's happening, friends? It's Dean from Electronisounds. Stick around. Today, I want to introduce you to a brand new sound bank for the Electron Digitakt 2. It's called Melodic Superhero, and it features 100 melodic sample chains. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can use these sample chains to step up your melodic game with the Digitakt, and I'm also going to play for you some music that I've created using these sample chains. Come on, let's get into this. For those of you who aren't already familiar with sample chains, a sample chain refers to a series of audio samples that are chained together in a single file. These samples are typically arranged sequentially, with each sample representing a portion of audio, in this case, a melodic note in a minor scale. These sample chains are meant to be used with the Digitakt's grid machine and sliced into 16 individual slices. Each slice will be a different melodic note in a minor scale. Out of the included 100 sample chains in this collection, 5 minor scales are included: C minor, E minor, F minor, G minor, and A minor. There are 16 notes in each sample chain. Typically, when you are using a one-shot sample melodically and playing different pitches with the same sample, the length of the sound will be shorter when playing higher notes away from the root note and longer when playing lower notes that are lower than the root note. This can create less than optimal sounding sequences sometimes, and when using these sample chains, each note in the scale will stay the same length and give you a more even sounding melodic line as a result. Overall, using these sample chains can help streamline your creative process and give you some interesting and even random possibilities in your sequences. I'm going to show you how we can use one of these sample chains to create a random melodic line inside of the Digitakt 2. I've got a sample chain loaded onto pad 1 here, and by default, it just sounds like this. The first thing we need to do is we need to separate these individual notes into individual slices inside of the Digitakt. So we're going to hit Function and Machine, and we're going to scroll down to the grid machine, and we're going to press Yes. Then we're going to go back to the source page. By default, it's got the grid set to 4 slices, and we want to go ahead and turn that to 16 slices so that each note in the scale is now an individual slice in the grid machine. So you can hear now it's just playing the first note only. To create a melodic pattern, what we need to do is just punch in some notes. I'm just going to punch in some random notes here, maybe another one over here. And all we need to do is, while we're still on the source page, we just need to hit Yes. We need to scroll down and choose Create Random Locks and hit Yes. Now it's created a random melodic sequence in the key of this sample chain, in this case in the key of F minor. Let's listen to it. I often like to set the very first note in the pattern to the first slice, which is the root note. That just helps it sound a little bit more in tune. Now we can get in here and set these slices by hand if we want to change the pattern, right? And we can add some effects to this if we want. Maybe a little bit of chorus as well. If we go back to the source page, maybe we don't like that pattern. Maybe we want to create a different pattern. All we need to do is hit yes and create random locks again. Let's try again. Let's change this first slice back to slice 1 to hit the root note. But if we want to create a more busy pattern, what if I want to choose all of the steps in the measure here? We can go ahead and hit yes, create new random locks, set this first slice to 1, and let's hear that. We can change any of these notes by hand by just holding down the sample step. And again, one last time, we can just easily hit yes twice and create a brand new set of random locks. I can make sure that first slice is on the 1 or not if that's your vibe. If you've made it this far into the video, I really appreciate your support, and I'd like to encourage you to hit that little like button under this video right here. It helps feed the YouTube algorithms so that they'll share my content with more people who might enjoy this type of synthy content. Thanks for the support, friends. I'm going to show you how we can use one of these sample chains to create some chords inside of the Digitakt as well. I've got a new sample chain loaded up onto pad 1, and I've got some effects already assigned to it. What it sounds like by default is this. Right. I really like the effects inside of the Digitakt. What we need to do is we need to do the same thing we did before. We need to go to the source page and hit function source so we can scroll down to the grid machine and choose that machine. Then if we go back to the source page, we can set that grid mode to a total of 16 slices so that each individual note in the sample chain is on its own sample slice here in the Digitakt. Now what we need to do is we just need to put in some random steps, okay? And let's go ahead and copy this track sound to track 2, and let's paste that also into track 3. Now we just need to put those same steps on track 2 and on track 3, so that each of the tracks, track 1, 2, and 3, have the sound playing on each step. By default, that's going to sound like this. Not too exciting, right? But if we change those notes, or the slices rather, on tracks 2 and 3, we can start creating some chords. Now, each slice is just another note that's in the same key. So you can really experiment quite a bit with which slice numbers you're adding to these steps, and it's going to create different chords for you, all in the same key. Again, in this case, in the key of F minor. So we're going to assign slice 2 to that first step. I'm on track 2 here. We're going to make this slice 3, and let's make this slice 4. Now, if we go to track 3 and do the same thing, start assigning different slices. Let's assign slice 4. Maybe here we assign slice 5, and over here, let's assign, I don't know, maybe slice 8. Let's hear what that sounds like. Now we've got an interesting chord pattern happening. You can really experiment quite a bit with what slices you're assigning to these. If we go back to track 1, and maybe we leave this first step here assigned to slice 1, but maybe we want to assign this one to slice 3, and maybe we want to assign this one, I don't know, to slice 5. Let's hear what that sounds like. Not super great. Let's choose some different slices here. All right, maybe we'll bring this one down to slice 2. Maybe let's change this slice. All right. Now, depending on what notes you choose, what steps rather, and then what slices you assign to those steps, you can create some really interesting chord patterns. Again, I can't stress this enough, that are always going to be in the key of the sample chain that you've loaded.